Welcome back, everybody, to the Wandering Samurai Study, in which we review and analyze every single act told in Rurouni Kenshin. And today's act is Act 16, Megumi, Kanryu, and I think that this was a good follow-up to the previous chapter. There was mention, their names were dropped, and then we actually get to see Kanryu in this chapter right away. I really just enjoy the direction that Watsuki is taking these characters and the story itself. I'm much more familiar with the anime, which is why I have brought up the anime from time to time, but I'm trying to not use the anime as a crutch. But it's just one of those things where I have the anime so ingrained in my head, more so than the manga. So revisiting the manga and revisiting these chapters themselves, it really just makes me appreciate the manga so much more. But here, him just being in the crowd, Hanya being alluded to, or, being name dropped but not being actually seen, is just so cool in the concept of that the Oniwaban are spies. God, I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get into the chapter summary review, and we'll talk about the highlights as always. Kenshin, Sanosuke, and the mysterious woman arrive at the dojo. Sanosuke covers the fact that the woman is on the run from Kaoru by telling her that Kenshin won her in a bet. Kaoru tries to send the woman home, but the woman named Megumi Takani says that she has no intention of leaving Kenshin. A flustered Kaoru kicks everyone out of the dojo, including Yahiko. Afterwards, the group finds themselves in a crowd surrounded by the corpse of two of Kanryu's men from the previous chapter. Kanryu and Aoshi Shinomori, the leader of a spy group called Oniwaban, are both present in the crowd and spot Kenshin on the other side. The revelation of the Oniwaba being connected to Kanryu leaves Kenshin determined to protect Megumi. I can't for the life of me figure out the Oniwaban or Aoshi Shinomori being involved with Kanryu Takeda make protecting Megumi that much more of an urgency, because it's clear that Kenshin is going to protect Megumi. There was never any doubt in anybody's mind if you really just think about it. The fact that they took Megumi back to the dojo and introduced her to Kaoru says enough that Kenshin is going to protect this woman. So, I don't get it. I really don't. If it's to serve to make or to up the stakes in the story or in the drama, I guess it works. I guess it makes sense. I mean, I think though that definitely including ninjas into the story, into this mini arc with the Oniwaban, I really do think that it is necessary. Otherwise, it's just a shady industrialist or a corrupt industrialist trying to take advantage. But, really he is just a regular man, no different from another businessman. It's just that this one's a little bit more shadier than the last one. So including the Oniwaban or including the spy group, it amps up the stakes for the narrative, because now we're going to see Kenshin fight ninjas, where in the last act or in the last mini arc he fought another Hitokiri. So it's just kind of a way to make things interesting. I'm very excited about the Oniwaban, especially Hanya. I really think that the inclusion of Hanya in this act is really good, just because the revelation that there is already one of Aoshi's or the Oniwaban's men already trailing the group just shows the type of power that they have in their disposal. Without even being revealed, he's just another person in the crowd, which makes the crowd I'll get to the crowd though. Hanya's face not being revealed just makes it so much more cooler, just because of the idea that there is a man who even the audience doesn't get to see, who's been trailing Kenshin. Hanya saying that Kenshin, being a much more specialized or much more self-aware character or person, made it difficult for him to trail. It just shows though that they're not really to be trifled, because Hanya was able to do it, and Kenshin never quite detected him. So it really just serves to kind of, I guess, power scale. I really hate using that word, but to really just highlight the level of skill that as a ninja has, gathering intel, following somebody, tailing them. That's the word that I was thinking of. Here, Aoshi telling him that he's going to get help from two other people, and the way that it was said made it sound as if Beshami is kind of like the newbie of the group, or he's not as well familiar with the other members. I don't know. It was just something about the phrasing that made me think that. But maybe that was just something that Watsuki, or maybe it was something that was lost in translation. But if possible, maybe Watsuki intended for them to not be really that close of a group, and then he just decided that maybe he's going to make them a close group in the future. I don't know. We'll get to it when we get to it, I guess. And then the final thing that I really want to say about the Oniwaban is Aoshi being in the presence of Kanryu Takeda. Kanryu Takeda having his men dead in the crowd of people, and the Oniwaban, or Aoshi standing right next to him, and Beshimi being alive. It shows that there is a divided line between the Oniwaban and Kanryu, where Kanryu, as the type of person that he operates, will kill his men who fail to meet his expectations. And Beshami is not in that crowd of, or in that group of dead people that the crowd is surrounding. Like, it just comes across though that Aoshi is not so much somebody who works for Kanryu. It more seems like there is maybe like a business partner relationship between the two men. Just the fact that they're right next to each other and talking to each other. And Kanryu says something like, it must be nice to have, being able to have a second chance, because I wouldn't allow it, or something like that. Interesting stuff. I also, like I said earlier, the crowd, I think that the crowd is just a very genius way of introducing the characters, because there is so many people around that a scene can't be caused. It's a good way to introduce Kanryu into the fold. These are his men, but he's acting as a curious bystander trying to figure out what is going on. But it's and then Aoshi and Kenshin seeing each other from right across. I just think it was a really good, effective way of introducing the character, and just the hubbub about it. But enough about them. We got to go back to the Kenshin group. I jumped all the way to the end of the act in my excitement, but there are some things that we should talk about. Okay, so the whole bit with Kaoru thinking that Megumi was won in a bet is so good. I loved every angle of it. I love Yahiko, complimenting Kenshin. I loved Kaoru being so flustered that Kenshin would win Megumi in a bet, or claim Megumi in a bet. And Sanosuke lying to her. It's all made for jokes, I'm sure. But, Sanosuke saying that it's a cover-up that Kaoru doesn't need to know, particularly at this moment. That, I don't know if it's just for the gag. It's kind of weird, though, that they wouldn't tell her right away. I don't know if it's just to protect her for some reason or another. It almost makes you think that Sanosuke isn't quite mad at Megumi, as we later find out that he actually is. But when we do find out that Sanosuke is indeed angry at Megumi and he's trying to get answers from her, it just serves to kind of continue the dynamic that they will eventually get to. I was reading something somewhere, I can't remember where, but something about people who fight and then somehow end up becoming best friends. I think that this is probably what is being done here. The strong opposition that Sanosuke, or the animosity that Sanosuke feels towards Megumi, who is holding opium for whatever reason, as she won't actually reveal it to Kenshin and Sanosuke. It's quite interesting. I know that a lot of people ship them together. I think that Watsuki might actually ship them himself. Not quite sure, because I don't think that I ever do see it go anywhere. Anyways, uh, Megumi though continues to be consistent from the previous act as her personality. In the previous act though, it was kind of slightly hinted at, but you can pick up on the cues of as to what kind of character she is. As she's very sly, a little bit shady, not willing to reveal information, but willing to take advantage of Kenshin's kindness, clinging onto him for protection. Sanosuke is trying to press her for information, and she's using the whole "it's rude to look into a woman's past." So yeah, there's that. And I guess the final thing that I want to say is that some of those connections that we made in the previous act come to fruition in this video itself, or in this act itself. Kanryu's name is dropped. Megumi says that she doesn't want to return to him, and that she's caught with possession. I think that the big connection here is when Kanryu spots Megumi and he says that he wants his golden hen back. We continue to see development in the story, as we start to start wondering, or start making our assumptions as to why Megumi is so important to Kanryu. And so now we're able to start wondering, okay, so she has something to do with the opium, and her not saying is just keeping the mystery alive. But yeah, so that is Act 16. If you like this video and you want to see more, then subscribe to the channel and leave a like, comment down below, and let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. What do you guys think of the Oniwaban? What did you guys think of Hanya being included into the act, but not having actually seen his face? For now, we'll go ahead and talk in Act 17. Bye, chat.